Welcome to the K.R Films entertainment channel. Today we are going to explain of 2016 action fantasy movie called Warcraft. Humans and huge orcs are fighting. In the first scene, Durotan is then seen chatting with his pregnant wife. They are deeply anxious about their future child. The clan chief Goldon has some strange and dark magical powers, and many of their clan members have died as a result of these powers. Goldon is being pursued by orcs, and the next scene there appears a female Corona who resembles both humans and orcs. Goldon has imprisoned her. Orcs must abandon this location and relocate to another. There were cages where some other clan members were also imprisoned. While walking by, a woman holds Garon his hand and asks her to kindly release her kid, but she can't do anything as they are using the souls of these prisoners for their needs. Goldon takes their souls and transports them to a wondrous new location. Goldon uses a dark form of magic called Fel, which is created from death. Many sacrifices are required, built on claims that these prisoner sacrifices can only send a few of the York stronger soldiers. The others will be left behind. Goldon, using his power, seizes the life of prisoners and imprisoned them, and his enchantment fell. Durotan and his wife also depart from the road out, and his wife's labor pains begin. She gives birth to a child, but he dies immediately after the birth. Seeing it, Goldon seizes the life of a deer and gives it to the baby. In the following scene and Ironforge, we see Commander Lothar receiving a message from the place Stormwind that someone has joined to them and the king is summoning him. Lothar pays a visit to a magician Khordgar who was discovered among the bodies. He believes that Khordgar has during problems, but he responds that he is going to help him because he is sensed huge trouble will befall us. Then Lothar asks Khordgar about which difficulty he is referring to. Lothar lets him examine the dead bodies. He examines the dead body which emits green smoke from its lips. They get terrified. Seeing it, the magician requests that Lothar should notify the king of Stormwind of this. They make to the king. Khordgar informs the king that he senses an ominous threat approaching them. The king instructs Lothar to bring him a guardian of Stormwind and a ring. They then brought a large bird to visit the guardian. On the other hand, Durotan and their companions are looking to hunt their enemies. The guardian possesses magical abilities as well. Lothar and the magician are the guardian fortress. Khordgar was going through the books here, and his magical power assisted him in locating a book which he carries with him. The guardian suddenly appears and asks Khordgar why he is here, and he tells him about the magic of Fel. According to the guardian, magic Fel is the type of magic that requires life to function. Khordgar warns him of the impending peril. Using his magical powers, Many takes them all to the king's place. The king seemed to be overjoyed to see them all. They then decide to investigate the location where the bodies were discovered. They visited the elven woodland with the armed soldiers. They also witnessed the Fel magic. As they looked in that direction, suddenly Orcs assault troops attack them. Many uses his magic to grab them, while Lothar shoots one of the orcs and loses his right hand. He is crafty with these big monsters, holding one of them captive. Khordgar also uses his magical powers to kidnap Corona. The York has awoken and wishes to be free. He breaks his chain, but Luther's sword kills him. Corona says that they don't belong in this world. King asks Corona to help them as he promises our freedom. He asked from where she has learned the language. She tells him that she has learned the language from a prisoner. Corona tells them that orcs come here to invade this world as their world was vanishing. In the next scene, Goldon was ready to kill Dirt and companion because he had lost the confrontation with the human. Goldon him mans that he should devote his soul to the magic of Fel since there is no room for the weak, but Durotan convinces Gold to see that they are combating humans and not ourselves. As a result, he should not kill their clans people. As a consequence, he saves his partner by persuading Golden. Golden informs his followers that in order to make Fel magic more potent, he needs a human sacrifice. He directs his clan to gather additional people. In the next scene, we see Durotan talking to his wife and playing with his son. His wife says that his son will also become a leader one day. On the other hand, Lothar's sister visits and Garon it gives her a drink to make herself warm and assures her have a life for freedom. In the next scene, Durotan and his friend were talking about their clan's condition. They think that their deteriorating condition is due to Goldon magic and they have lost their homeland, and if they don't stop him now, all the people of the Stormwind will die. Otherwise, they say that they must do something to stop him from doing so, but they also think that he is so powerful that they cannot stop him. Lothar is then seen preparing Corona to face the Orcs during their journey. Corona says that her mother was burned alive because she gave birth to her. When looking at her necklace, she explains that her mother gave her that to remember her. As they arrived at the Orcs' residence, they discover a large number of prisoners. Corona outlines the portal which should be opened when they will sacrifice their lives to fell magic. Duro attack is keeping an eye on them all, but he doesn't do anything to them. He asks Corona if she wanted to meet their leader in order to finish all this warfare, after which he calls the king to the Blackstone. Corona says that she will let the king know. In the next scene, the king calls a meeting of all the states and says that they have to unite in order to fight the enemy together. Commander Lota reaches and tells them that they are planning to open the portal and that they have to stop them. The queen gives a dagger to Corona and says that it will protect her. Guard goes to Muddy, even tells him about the clues he has gathered. The following day, the king and his army went to meet Duro 10 at the top of the Blackstone Mountain, but Golden's army was already spying on them. They launched an attack and Lota's son was left on the opposite side of the wall with Orcs. Lota tries a lot to go on the other side and save him, but he was killed by Orcs after the Guardian constructed a magical barrier between them and the Orcs. Lota was watching his son being brutally killed by an Orc and couldn't do anything. He then throws his dead body on the other side. Corona also feels sad about the death of the kid. Medieval, now rendered unconscious by the high magic on the top of the mountain, he now must be taken back to the palace. Came quickly causes bird and put him into the magic pool, and when Gar scoops him up, his eyes change to green, indicating that he is now a victim of fell magic and has become evil. When Believe wakes up to see Garage no sitting beside him, he asks about the king. He gets Corona a magical floor and Garona disappear from there. Lota feels very broken as he misses his son Gar, then reaches the palace to meet the old man and tells him that Many Eve is also poisoned by the fell magic. He takes him to the magical door where he sees a woman named Bilutti whom he knows through magical books. She tells him that the one who claims to be his guardian is the one who assisted Goldon and reaching his city. She wants Garang his friends to save the world, after which she disappears. On the other hand, Muddy's magical pool turns green, showing that he is also the victim of the fell magic. He couldn't control the fell magic as it need a soul, so he sucked out the soul of his own partner Durotan, and his clans were battling on the opposing side since he was caught supporting the humans Durotans, but he assisted Durotan's wife in escaping from there so that she might save her kid. Durotan's wife and the Orc battle each other to death. The Guardian advises the king to strike the Orcs. Lota says that this is not the right time to attack them as Many Eve will not assist them if they did so. Lota also says that money was also the cause of the death of his son. He becomes harsh with Many Eve, so the king asks a soldier to take Lota away to a cell. Corona visits Lota in a cell. She gives Lota her mother's necklace as he doesn't want Corona to go with Muddy if he wants her to be alive. King and his guardian left for the battle. While leaving Lota still in the cell, Muddy declares that he will not accompany them and will return to his hometown. Lota asks the soldier to open the door as he is called now, but the guard doesn't have permission to open the cell. Car arrived there and converts the soldier into a sheep and opens the cell's door, setting Lota free. Durotan on the other hand challenges Gold onto a battle and says that the winner of the fight will become the future leader. They initiated the brawl. While Muddy begins using magic to open a gateway allowing the remaining Orcs to enter the city, Goldon deceives 010 by stealing his soul as a sacrifice for the doorway. Your 10 people don't want to follow the demon anymore, but Goldon is so powerful that the one who doesn't want to follow him gets killed. Lota and Guard travel to the Guardian to prevent him from opening the portal. They attack him and cause him to lose money. With the help of his magic, makes a big stone man fight with Lota and Gar Lota by distracting and tries to defeat him by their tricks. Lota smashes Muddy with his own stone man. The king's army fights with the Orcs and the soldiers kill many of them. Goldon wants more Orcs to come and assist him. Through the magical portal, the doorway begins to close. Before dying, Medieval opens another doorway that can assist the prisoners in returning to their homes. Now Meteor is having blue light in his eyes. The king instructs his troops to transport captives to the new portal so that they can return securely. King wants to save as many men as he can. Corona says that they should lead, but the king instructs Corona to kill him so that when the Orcs watch Corona killing the king, it would contribute to peace. After doing as the king said, the Orcs took a runner to go down who becomes very impressed as Lota sees the dead king. He realizes that Corona is responsible for the murder. He picks up the dead body and prepares to leave, but an Orc attacks him and his bird and he becomes unconscious. When he wakes up he sees the Orcs standing around him. Lota then sets an Orc to a fight and easily defeat him, reminiscing as the revenge for his son. Goldon instructs the Orcs to kill Lota but nobody wants to obey him. Lota then transports the king's body to the palace. The queen declared war on the Orcs in a point. Did Lota is the leader of the battle. In the final scene we see a person finding a newborn of Duro 10 drifting in the river. Subscribe to see more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.